Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is TamezTech. Today we're going to be checking out a triple shadow team, as you've all been able to tell by the thumbnail. And if you couldn't figure out what those three Pokemon were, well, I'll tell you right now. We're running Shadow Gyarados lead with Shadow Drapion safe swap and Shadow Marowak in the back. Albeit, I know they are shadows, but they aren't very spicy. But I guess running a triple shadow team is spicy enough, and I wanted to commemorate Jamie Finn, who is the Shadow Lord, apparently. So yeah, let's kind of run a tribute here and see what we can do with this triple shadow Pokemon team. Let's go ahead and check out these battles. We have all that good stuff on the left side of the screen there, timing, moves, all that good stuff, IVs even. And for our first lead, we see a Gyarados Mirror. They try to catch an Aqua Tail on Togetic, or I guess a Crunch, but they swap a little bit early, and at this point, I think this Togekiss is in Aqua Tail range, right? So I can either force a shield right away, or see what they want to do here. If they shield, I believe I can Poison Sting all the way down now, right? So they might be looking to swap out of here. Okay, and they do. They bring in Gyarados, and I don't mind landing this Aqua Tail. This is still going to be pretty valuable damage. In fact, it puts him into Aqua Tail range. This Aqua Tail should force their final shield, and I think at this point I'm gonna not shield my Gyarados, just try to finish the game with my K-Whack here. I should be able to Mud Slap this Gyarados down after a shield, which does seem like a big task, but Gyarados is extremely frail, so even though they're double resisted, we'll be alright. They bring in a Venusaur, which is a little tricky for us, not gonna lie. But we are able to catch a Frenzy Plant. We actually wait a turn there and swap, so the opponent thinks we're still in the game. So thanks to this farm, I can instantly throw this against the Togekiss, since it's the non-shadow Pokemon, so my Mud Slaps will do less, and just Mud Slap the Gyarados all the way down. We take that game. Pretty good gameplay there, but it gets a little bit tricky with triple shadow, right? Know what you can and can't tank. We run into Moltres in the lead. A little bit of a tricky Pokemon. They swap into Dene, and I don't know. This was my second game of the day, so I should have instantly swapped K-Whack. Thankfully, we do draw a shield, so they shield that. So we kind of bait them into wasting resources on a Pokemon that isn't really worth much for them anymore. Since we stayed so long, though, we do have to throw a little bit early here because they will get to a second play rough. And now that the Moltres comes in, we force them to throw energy. This is totally fine. It does kind of suck losing that Rock Slide, but once again, this Moltres is practically dry, right? We actually CMP tie them with an Aqua Tail here, and this CMP tie is a little bit of a toss-up, mostly because people's Moltreses usually aren't that bulky, so their attack stat is usually higher, and it might be a bit of a hit or miss with Drapion. But we are able to get to the back-to-back Aqua Tails and play to the CMP tie once again. And yeah, they have a Clodsire in the back, so we pretty much win that game. We would have gotten to 3 Aqua Tails, especially the one from Shadow Gyarados would have done about 50%, so we were golden there. Okay, a little bit faster on the swap this time. They swap into Dene. Really weird. People are swapping the Dene on the safe swap. Extremely weird. But we are able to punish it with K-Whack. This is my first time ever using Shadow K-Whack. And honestly, I hate to say that I'm enjoying this little guy. The Mud Slaps are crazy. The pacing is crazy. I usually consider it as kind of an RPS-emon, but it does have a lot of play. You can't deny that. We're going to come in with Gary here, force the final shield, bring in Drapion at this point. See what we can do with an energy lead. We throw the Aqua Tail right away just to make sure my opponent isn't going to do like a funny play or anything. And they have a Cradily in the back. So at this point, the game's pretty much over. We can get to 2 crunches with Drapion without even having to shield. And then we'll just take the game with the Gyarados. Oh yeah, even at this range, an Aqua Tail should knock out. We actually throw it on the CMP tie. And look at that, dude. Aqua Tail easily doing over 30% to a Cradily. That is some pretty nice damage. This Pokemon is so crazy. Okay, Macargo lead. We actually have play into this with our entire team. Of course, I'd rather see it on my K-Whack, but they actually swap in a superior save swap. And we have the perfect answer for this. In fact, this Pokemon is quite problematic for our other two, so this is a perfect place to see it. So we're able to land the crunch, and we actually cap tie with them on an Aqua Tail. So that they kind of miscount our energy. And now, I mean, bring in whatever they bring in, but that Macargo is practically dealt with. They bring in Primeape, they CMP tie us, pretty smart by them. But at this point, I think I'm just going to 2-shield farm down. Okay, we don't. I was thinking of 2-shield farming down with K-Wack, but being down shields with a Gary in the back is probably not a good idea. So we're going to come in with our Gyarados. We have all that banked up energy. We force both of those shields. And whenever they throw their energy, we can just bank an Aqua Tail, swap into K-Wack. Okay, we just get rid of this. I guess we have different playstyles between morning me and evening me. I guess at this point, we don't even have to show our K-Wack. I'm pretty sure Aqua Tail, even debuffed, is going to knock out like 87 Macargos at this point. So yeah, just a clean one-shot there. We didn't even need K-Wack that game. I guess I was just trying to give it some use, but to be fair, we didn't need it at all. So yeah, good way to take that game. Let's check out the next game here. We got Malamar lead, a little bit scary, but they swap in a Carbink. And once again, I don't understand why people are doing this stuff. We might see a lot more of these weird fairy safe swaps in the next coming days, but I mean, Carbink just gets mud slapped all the way down, and we have 100 energy ready for this Malamar. We insta throw the Bone Club, farm up to another 2, throw another Bone Club, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I might want to save my K-Wack here. I can tank any move from the Malamar with Drapion, unless they have Hyper Beam, but they didn't really farm up to it. And they bring in a Charizard. This is perfect. We have play, I mean a Charizard, we have play into a Talonflame with our entire team. So we can get to 2 Aqua Tails here. We have some residual energy on Gyarados, and we have, I believe, a Rock Slide on Marowak. So let's bring in Marowak. Okay, we sneak, and now we have the Rock Slide. I'm thinking this probably won't knock out. I throw the Rock Slide, but my opponent really smartly snipes us with the Psywaves. Really smart play by them. I thought I would survive one, but we didn't. Regardless of that play, though, we still have a shield on Gary. We outpace the Malamar, so they can't really throw their energy. And we're pretty much in a decent spot to take that game. On to the next match here. We got Lickitung lead. A little bit tricky. These Licks are really going to put in work against us. Whether we land the crunch or not, I'm swapping into Drapion. And look at that. That thing puts him into less than half HP. That's amazing. At this point, our second Pokemon with Aqua Tail Crunch coverage can take care of this Licky before they get to their second Body Slam. I don't want them to get a lot of free damage into us. They bring in a Primeape, and we do have 1 Poison Sting residuals, thankfully, so we're able to outpace to the Aqua Tail before they get a Rage Fist. Not that the Rage Fist would have knocked out anyway, I don't think, but they do throw right before we get an Aqua Tail there, so good on them. And they blind swap Macargo to our K-Wack swap. And unfortunately, about 5 Mud Slaps is all we need there to knock out that Macargo from full HP. Double super effective Mud Slaps. So sad for my opponent there, but I will take it. Okay, they bring in Corviknight, a little bit of a tricky Pokemon for us. I'm going to chip and dip here into my Drapion. Believe it or not, Drapion deals with Corviknight pretty well. If you do have a really attack-weighted Corviknight, you can do more damage with the Sand Attack. But most people opt for the bulkier one, because just because Corviknight is inherently a bulky Pokemon, so if you can get the bulkiest one, you can make it do a lot of work. But specifically against the Drapion matchup, extra Sand Attack damage is pretty useful. My opponent does get 2 Mud Slaps out of my Drapion there, unfortunately. I was really hoping to get into 1 Mud Slap range. They bring in Fearow, and once again, I'm chip and dipping. This Fearow is a big problem for us, right? Thankfully, we do have shield advantage against this thing, and they throw an alignment. And I believe that kind of seals the deal for us, right? At this point, we don't really have to bait. If we bait, we run a lot of risk if they no shield. But thanks to that sneak, we can just pace pretty evenly to these moves. Yeah, we just watch for the catch, make sure they're not trying to catch. We actually just wait a turn, make sure that their move is coming through. And once we do, we pretty much confidently take that game. We still have Gyarados in the back for that Gastrodon. And that's a GG. Okay, on to the next game. I don't really like Hypno. It's the fast move pressure it puts on our Gyarados is really, really scary here. So we're gonna force a shield, swap in the Drapion, see what we can do. They bring in a Swampert, which honestly, this is really good to bait out for my K-Wack. Not that we couldn't deal with it up shields, but having this thing up energy and up shields in the back line would have been really, really disastrous. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, it's probably Hypno Double Mudboy, right? So I should save my Gyarados. And this is the game plan I'm going with. I actually don't remember the rest of this game, but we take one Shadow Ball. We should be able to shield the second. Thankfully, my opponent doesn't bait on the second, so we shield the Shadow Ball. We're able to throw this Bone Club on good timing, and it shouldn't knock out, but let's see what's in the back. And it's a Venusaur. This is a really big problem for us. We misread the whole Double Mudboy thing pretty severely. Thankfully, we are able to get to a second crunch here. My opponent is committing to the fast moves, just getting to back-to-back Frenzy Plant against us. But this single Mud Slap should knock out the Venusaur. And if it does, and it does, we do win that game. Oh man, that was a little too close for comfort. If we saved our Drapion there, we would have had a big chance, but we would have had to go down so many resources in the end game that I feel like Venusaur would probably still be able to take care of us. Okay, Tricky Lead in the next match. We try to catch a Shadow Punch. Unfortunately, it doesn't succeed. But this Dusclops is staying in, and they are Shadow Punching. Really, really weird play by my opponent. I'm not going to shield this one. It is an Ice Punch. But they are going to have to give me shields if they want to survive this crunch, because this thing will just fully knock out. Afterwards, they do come in with a Marowak, so they get 2 free Mud Slaps. We are able to force some damage with the Aqua Tail. So let's see. Let's bring in Gary, force a shield. They actually throw early, and I'm asking my chat, is this a Bone Club? It is. So they just go for the chip damage, which is super weird because, I mean, that's a lot of wasted energy, right? But I'll take it. We get a lot of more energy out of Gyarados. Dusclops comes in. We're able to force either the second shield or a knockout with this crunch. Okay, we force the second shield. At this point, I'm pretty sure we can outpace the Dusclops. I'm just a little bit worried that they might try to snipe our Gyarados. Thankfully, they don't. So we're able to throw this crunch on good timing. Get rid of this Dusclops. Let's see what's in the back. Corviknight. Okay, so this is really good to have a shield advantage against, especially when Corviknight isn't even farming to the paybacks. I believe your win con here would be to bait an Air Cutter and then throw payback after. But since they Air Cuttered first, there's pretty much another win con for them, especially now that they throw on alignment there. We just have to get to the double Rock Slide, and we pretty much take that game. A little bit of a miscue there. I actually don't fully charge that. I think I was reading chat or something, but we're able to snipe with Gyarados. Okay, amazing lead here. Altaria. We have super effective Dragon Breath. They don't. They swap in Empoleon, and once again, bad timing for my opponent cost them a shield. Right here, they could have forced both of my shields if they throw on good timing, because they get to a second Hydro Cannon. But since they throw on bad timing and we sneak an entire Mud Slap, we're able to just one shield farm them all the way down. So that's really, really cool from K-Wack here. We have a bunch of energy for this K-Wack. It's pretty much been dealt with, right? A little bit scary though. They do have a lot of energy. They're going to be able to force a Rock Slide. But once again, this is a little early, right? Yeah, it's another Bone Club. Really, really crazy stuff there. Counting Marowak is really useful, guys. We get the defense drop there, and my opponent says, you know what? Screw this. I'm not going to deal with this. And they just top left that game. Sorry about that, trainer. Okay, Dusclops lead. Once again, this was a little more comfortable because they're not Shadow. And we're actually able to catch a Shadow Punch here and sneak a Poison Sting. They bring in Scizor. I make a little bit of a misplay here. I throw the Crunch. You should always just double Aqua Tail in this matchup because they usually do. My opponent mistakenly throws energy here. They would have farmed me all the way down. So I'll take it. This Scizor is still a little bit tricky to deal with though. I think I'm going to bring in K-Wack just because I have more fast move pressure. My opponent throws on 3 because we actually one turn lag. They bring in Dusclops, and since this is the known Shadow Dusclops, I should be able to farm them down or even tank a move, right? So yeah, we're able to tank that Shadow Punch pretty nice and get the farm down. If K-Wack comes back in, they're in trouble. They bring in a Dugong though. Dugong is such a problem for this team. We saw quite a few of them. We actually get the defense drop there. We're able to CMP tie on the Bone Club, which they probably will shield since this is the most damaging move in the game. And they do. Unfortunately, now we're debuffed, right? The Caesar comes in. I have to throw my energy instantly because these bullet punches are doing so much damage to us, and they're one away from the Night Slash. At this point, I need this Bone Club to KO, but we are debuffed. We are Marowak. They live it on 1 HP. Oh my god, that is the worst case scenario. And we lose that game by such a fraction of a difference there. On to the next game, Jellicent lead. A bit of a tricky lead. It's just a really tanky Pokemon, but we do have a lot of work for it, right? Right here, I'm going to try and catch a Shadow Ball. It doesn't really work out for me. My opponent just throws the Surf. 2 Surfs will knock out Drapion, but they actually pivot, and they pivot to a Clodsire. This is really good for me. Whatever damage I do to this Clodsire, I can just deal with it with my K-Wack. I'm going to throw the double Aqua Tail, and I'm not really going to shield. If they bait, they let me get to another Aqua Tail, and it's GG for them, unless they have Stone Edge. Okay, so that's fair. I can still farm this down all the way with my K-Wack without taking a move, and catch a Surf with my Gyarados. We throw 1 Mud Slap and the catch. Cookie cutter stuff. They bring in Talon. I'm a little bit worried here. I need to survive 1 more Incinerate to get to another Aqua Tail, and we don't. But we do have a lot of energy on K-Wack. Even though we got denied there, we're able to throw 3 Mud Slaps and the Rock Slide for good timing. And I think because of that play, my opponent kind of rage quits here. I sped up the video a lot more. As you can see, it seems like they left the game. So we're just going to farm up, putting them to a range where Bone Club knocks out. And we take that game. Sorry about that, trainer. They did get a little bit RPS there, but we played that pretty well. On to the next lead, Morpeko. This is terrible. I'm instantly swapping Drapion here. I can go for the Aqua Tail before they get an Aura Wheel, so this means this should only be a Psychic Fangs. Really weird play by my opponent. I mean, they're burning the clock quite a bit here. And they bring a Superior as an answer to Drapion? Trainer? No, that is not an answer. We actually cap tie them to the second crunch here, which is really, really weird. My opponent is playing this extremely strangely. This should knock out. Frenzy Plant does a lot of damage, but they actually Aerial Ace once again. Really, really weird. We actually, I should have overfarmed here, kept the energy for the Morpeko, but we do snipe down the Superior because we were gonna have to shield the Aerial Ace anyway, or the Frenzy Plant. We're able to force a shield from this Morpeko, and this Morpeko is down 2 shields. We're up 2 shields with our K-Wack. They try to bank a move. They have a Talonflame in the back. They give us a bunch of energy staying in with their Morpeko, and that's a good game. We take both shields for the next game. This game should have 4 shields. Oh, okay, this game against Running First. One of my Twitch viewers, a really, really cool guy on stream. We are having really, really good alignment right now, right? And if you haven't realized who is the problematic Pokemon for this team yet, you will find out quite shortly. We're having really, really good alignment. We can tank a Rock Tomb, no problem. We're going to keep playing to the CMP tie with this Cradily, see what they want to do. Do they want to keep switch? Do they want to have shield advantage? I do drop a shield, and I farm up to the back-to-back Aqua Tails, and once again, cap tie. If they want switch, they're going to have to go down both shields. So let's see what they want to do. Okay, they want switch. You know what? I want to keep a shield for my Gyarados, so I'm going to come in, farm this all the way down with Gyarados, and see what I can do with this energy. Boom. Here's a problematic Pokemon. Azumarill is such a problem for us. It is really, really bad. We get the crunch debuff on the first, so this is looking a little bit better than it could. These Aqua Tails are chunking, dude, quite a bit. Even though we're doing double resisted Dragon Breath damage, they are chunking. Here, I throw another Aqua Tail. I want to leave banking an Aqua Tail, but I can't. I have to catch this Ice Beam or it'll knock me out. Now they do a really smart play. They land the Ice Beam, they farm us all the way down with K-Wack. And since we don't have the Aqua Tail banked on that Gyarados, we actually lose this game by 1 singular turn of energy. Oh man, what a close game. I wonder if I went fully Aqua Tail against the Asu, we would have had a better chance there. But unfortunately, running first does take that game, so congrats to him. GG's to that guy. We see Cradley lead in the next match. We actually get 3 poison stings there for 1 bullet seed, and they grass knot. I was cracking up at this point. I'm like, I don't know if this trainer hasn't seen Drapion in so long or what, but that was just so hilarious to me. We're gonna bring in Gary. That Cradley is basically in 1 move range. We instantly shield here. Hopefully they don't bait, and they don't, which is really good. This is the first Marowak that has built up to Rock Slide in a while. And then what do? Now they only build up to Bone Club. Super weird. I really don't get why people do this so much. But counting is really cool. They have a Dedenne in the back, and my opponent made a big misplay here. They didn't wait out their clock, right? They were swapping in and out and stuff and not waiting their clock, just bringing in their Pokemon right away. They might have been able to save their Dedenne here. Unfortunately, they had discharge. Not that it really mattered much, but that's super weird. We have double Bone Club for the Marowak in the back, and we should have quite a bit of residual energy on our Gyarados. Yeah, so we just win that game there. Really weird play by my opponents today, but honestly, I will always take it. Cloudsire leading the next match. We're able to outpace to the Aqua Tail, and then maybe swap it to something else. This is a little bit tricky though. This thing does have really heavy damage for our team, but if we catch a move that was supposed to be directed to our Gyarados, it'll never be an Earthquake, right? So we're able to catch a Stone Edge there. Corviknight throws pretty early here, so I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take this. They're gonna be switch clock quite a while with their Corviknight here. Unfortunately, I can't get to that second Aqua Tail, but that's totally fine. We can come in here with Gary, overfarm quite a bit here, and just throw our Aqua Tail to shut knockout, especially with that crunch debuff. So that's really good for us. They bring in Dedenne. I make a big misplay here. Staying in and throwing this move is really dumb. They do shield it though, so it does help a little bit. And my opponent's misplay is that they actually swap in Cloudsire. I don't ever have to shield anything, even if it's a Water Pulse. What the hell is that? Who runs Water Pulse on Cloudsire? Anyways, we do shield the Play Rough, and we have the back-to-back Bone Clubs for this Dedenne here, so we should be able to take this game regardless. But dude, really weird games. I really don't know if the algorithm is giving me funny games because we're running Triple Shadow or what. But these games were so hilarious to me. On to the next match, we got Gary versus Greninja. A little bit of a tricky matchup. It's 3-2 to the Night Slashes. So we're going to full send this Aqua Tail here. It shouldn't knock out, so if they don't shield it, that's fine. And we're going to try and catch a Night Slash, which we do. At this point, the Greninja is kind of done for. It's pretty much dry on energy, and any fast move pressure from any of our Pokemon should be able to knock it out. So it's only used as a catch. Keep that in mind. Never shield your Drapion against Cloudsire. They always bait. They are so greedy. We're able to get to another 2 Aqua Tails here. And this should be able to force shield or knockout. It does look like it forces shield, which is a little bit weird for me, right? Because I kind of have to give up this farm down here. I don't want this Cloudsire with this much energy onto my Gary. They bring in Dusclops, and we're able to land this Crunch. This is going to be really good, meaningful damage. Not too much, though. So we bring in Kwak here, and I'm thinking, okay, you know what? I think I'm just going to 2-shield farm this all the way down. Just the threat of a Nice Punch is a little bit damning here. But we do tank 1 Shadow Punch, so that's fine. Let's keep a shield for the Cloudsire, and there's the catch. There is the dramatic catch this trainer needed. Unfortunately for them, though, no 1 move knocks us out from here anyways. And we are able to outpace to the Bone Club regardless. So GG's to them. Really cool catch. But we're still able to take that game. And that was the last game of the video, so I really hope you guys enjoyed it. These were a couple of battles that we did on stream the other day, and I had a lot of fun running Triple Shadow. This was my first time running Triple Shadow. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and let's get over to the question of the day, yeah? Alright, and for the question of the day, we got, who is your favorite Shadow Pokemon? Me personally, in terms of utility, I have to say Shadow Caesar. Shadow Caesar has done so much work for me, as I mentioned in the last video. It got me to Legend, it got me to leaderboards. People still don't respect it, even in this meta. So feel free to run that. I know a lot of people like Shadow Drapion. It's really flexible Pokemon. I was really happy to give it some use in this meta with all the Mudslappers and fairies going around, so I'll totally take that. But yeah, you guys let me know who's your favorite shadow Pokemon. Once again, all my socials are up there. You can follow me on Instagram, X, TikTok, and I stream on Twitch every single day, so you can come watch these battles a little bit earlier, hear me mauled and all that. Feel free to join the Discord at the link below, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye bye.